Mahdis. How many Mahdis have we had till today? But the Mahdis of today are different from the Mahdis that were created immediately after the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny. Today we have the Baha'i and the Qadianis and the Mahdis that are created in America, even today. Even today. The Holy Prophet warned that there would be numerous pseudo Mahdis before the true one appears. And we continue to have them. Recently we had a new Mahdi in Pakistan. And there is no shortage of them. There is no shortage of them. One of them was asked, I think it is Ghulam Mahdi Qadiani, he was asked that one condition for the coming of the Mahdi is the Dajjal. Where is the Dajjal if you truly are the Mahdi? His answer that the train is a Dajjal obviously leaves much to be desired. The answer that some of the superpowers are the Dajjal leave much to be desired, because the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny set out the qualifications of the Dajjal, the characteristics of the Dajjal, the temptations that the Dajjal will give. None of those become apparent. Offer of heaven and hell, none of them become apparent in the kind of Dajjal that are being designated in the versions of the pseudo Mahdis of today. But soon after the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny, and we are talking of about only 40, 50 years after that, upon the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for example, people went and said that Muhammad ibn Hanafiya was the Mahdi. Indeed, there are those who till today believe that Muhammad ibn Hanafiya was a Mahdi of the time. So you can see that the belief that a Mahdi will come and he will be a man of piety and a man of authority was prevalent amongst the people even at that point in time, in about 50 years only after the martyrdom of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny. Tell me, how was that going to be possible unless that belief had become a very popular belief amongst the people? And indeed, we have already gone through, if you remember, in 2002 I think, the hadith, how Imam Muhammad ibn Hanafiya had to go to the fourth Imam alayhi salam and say, we've got to find a way of satisfying these people who call me the Mahdi, because I'm not the Mahdi, indeed you are the Imam of the time. And the fourth Imam alayhi salam said, let us have a debate in the presence of Hajar Aswad. I'm not narrating the hadith, we have already discussed that at length, only to finish it in a matter of a few seconds. And the Hajar Aswad was made to speak by the fourth Imam alayhi salam, and Hajar Aswad testified that Muhammad ibn Hanafiya was not even an Imam, let alone a Mahdi. But even in the times of Mukhtar, and we discussed this when we discussed Mukhtar, the concept of Muhammad ibn Hanafiya being the Mahdi prevailed. Another concept we discussed of a Mahdi already is Zayd bin Ali, the son of the fourth Imam alayhi salam. When he rose, people turned around and called him Mahdi. And until today, there is a Zaydi group that says that Hazrat Zayd was a Mahdi and will reappear. But you can see how prevalent this view was. There were Mahdis in the time of the sixth Imam alayhi salam, as we have already seen. There were Mahdis in the time of the seventh Imam alayhi salam, as we have already seen. There was a Mahdi after Mahdi, all of them coming seriatim. And indeed, in the present times, we have all these Mahdis. The question is, how does that thought arise? How do people come to call others Mahdi unless there is some substratum of knowledge regarding the existence of that personality, what his powers would be, what his authority would be, what his characteristics would be, what his qualifications would be. And those hadiths are so prevalent, so prevalent. Indeed, I wish to take your time this evening, as I promised last night, to set out some of these ahadiths. And in doing so, I will refrain from setting out Shiite hadiths. Tomorrow perhaps, when we discuss the miracles that are performed even today by Hazrat Hujjat Ajjalallahu Farajahu. Well, tomorrow we will start with some of those miracles, but they may not necessarily be from Sunnite sources. But tonight let us discuss Sunnite sources. And I wish to start with the Sahih Sitta. Those are regarded as the most authentic of the Sunnite works. And if you look at those books, each one of them contains narrations about the Mahdi Ajjalallahu Farajahu. To start with Sahih Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, both of them contain the hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny. And we confine ourselves to the hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, because then there is no difference of opinion. And he is reported by these two authors to have said that a time will come, soon a time will come, when Nabi Isa alayhi salam will descend from the heaven. And when he descends, he will be struggling to have justice on earth. And the first thing that Nabi Isa alayhi salam will do, according to the Holy Prophet, mind you, this is not a hadith from one of our Imams, from the Holy Prophet himself, peace be upon him and his progeny. The first thing that Nabi Isa alayhi salam will struggle to do, according to the Holy Prophet, is to destroy all the crosses that exist in the world. He will turn around and say, I was never on the cross, this is a lie, it's a kufr, and he will, with his own hands, according to the Prophet, according to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, with his own hand, will destroy all the crosses that he will come across. And the other thing the Holy Prophet said is that he will destroy, completely erase the concept of jizya. Now what does that mean? How can he destroy the concept of jizya? But let me finish the hadith and we will come back to this question. And then he says, how fortunate, the Holy Prophet says, how fortunate of my ummah that at that time you will have from my progeny a descendant from my family who will be the Amir of the time, who will be the Imam of the time, and who will be spreading peace on earth and goodwill between mankind, and he will indeed be the Mahdi of the time. Now this is reported both in Sahih Bukhari and in Sahih Muslim. Now, the fact that there will be an Imam from his progeny who will be the Amir of the time shows that the Imam will establish Islam on earth, and once everybody will be a Muslim, and Islam will have superseded all other religions, and everybody is a Muslim, the concept of jizya will be destroyed. Nabi Isa alayhi salam will be at pains to have jizya destroyed, because those who will be paying jizya, he will show them the correct path, the path of Islam. They will become Muslims, and hence will not have to pay jizya, and Islam will supersede over other religions. لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى دِينِ كُلِّهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ. That then is a spirit and a situation that will arise at the time of the coming of the Mahdi Ajjalallahu Farajahu, as set out by the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny himself. Sahih Muslim, secondly, has a hadith which says that when Nabi Isa alayhi salam will descend from heavens, your Imam of the time, speaking to the companions, your Imam of the time will ask him to lead prayers. So it will not be a question of altar, my dear brothers and sisters. It will not be the question of singing hymns in a church. It will be a question of reciting prayers as we do. It will be the question of qira'ah, it will be a question of ruku, and it will be a question of sajda. And let the Christians of today appreciate this presage before the return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. It will be, he will lead salah, as it is told. So he will conduct salah the way we Muslims pray today. Otherwise, there is no way that the 12th Imam alayhi salam would ask him to lead prayers. There is no way Muslims of the time, the army of Sayyid Hassani, as inshallah we shall discuss next Monday or Tuesday, would ask him to lead prayers to them. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, says he will be asked to lead prayers, and he will turn to your Imam of the time and tell him, you are Imam of this time, you will lead the prayers and I will pray behind you. That hadith, which is so familiar to you, which is so well known to you, is indeed, according to Sahih Muslim, narrated by the Holy Prophet himself, peace be upon him and his progeny. Sunan ibn Dawood, a third leading Sahih book, and Sunan Tirmidhi, a fourth leading Sahih book. Both of them report a hadith which says that the Mahdi from my progeny is bound to come. These are the words of the Holy Prophet himself, peace be upon him and his progeny. He will be in concealment. He will reappear. And when He will reappear, He will establish justice on this earth. And he goes to say that even if just one day is left, what strong words the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny has used. Even if there is just one day left in the world before the day of judgment comes in, before Qiyamah comes in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His power will lengthen that day, will lengthen it to such an extent that the Mahdi alayhi salam will reappear. He will fight the polytheists, he will fight the infidels, establish Islam throughout the world, and only then will the day of judgment arrive. Now these are words that you find in these leading books of Ibn Dawood and Tirmidhi. And indeed, in his Sunan, Tirmidhi goes a step further. He says that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny has said that after me there will be 12 Imams. And indeed, even Bukhari reports this hadith, that there will be 12 Imams. A'imma is the word Bukhari uses. Amirs is the word Sahih Muslim used. That there will be 12 Imams after me, the Holy Prophet says, and the last one will be Mahdi, and all of them will be from the progeny of Fatima to Zahra salamullahi alayha. And then goes to explain that through her they will be from the progeny of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Whilst I am on Sunan Tirmidhi, let me say that there are ahadith to be found which say that he will be from the progeny of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And there is no contradiction there also. There is no need to find contradiction in these leading Sunnite books on that point, because the 12th Imam alayhi salam truly will be from the progeny of Imam Hassan alayhi salam also, because the mother of Imam Muhammad Baqir salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi will be the daughter of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Will be Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam will have married the daughter of his uncle Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So there you see the as we have already discussed when we were discussing about Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, he combines the two branches of Hassanain alayhi salam. His father's father, his paternal grandfather being Imam Hussein alayhi salam, his maternal grandfather being Imam Hassan alayhi salam. It is therefore as correct to say that Al-Mahdi ajjalallahu farajahu will be from the progeny of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, as it is to say that he will be from the progeny of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And indeed, both of them are a common ancestry. There is no difference to be found in either of them, or between either of them. Well, so Sunan Tirmidhi says that he will be from the progeny of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and will be from my progeny. But an interesting hadith, and before I set that out, let me just in passing say that I could go on and on this, because Hafidh Ibn Dawood in his work says that there are 40 authentic traditions. He names 40 in leading Sunnite books. He says the Sunnite books of eminent ulama who are accepted as authentic amongst the Ahl al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, 40 ahadith to set out how Al-Mahdi ajjalallahu farajahu will reappear. He will bring peace on earth. He will spread Islam, and ultimately Nabi Isa alayhi salam will also join him, and he will lead prayers, and Nabi Isa alayhi salam will lead prayers behind him. He says there are 40 ahadith in Sunnite works, and indeed there is no question about them. You go on and on, you find a list of them. One of those hadiths that Hafidh Ibn Dawood sets out in his work is a very interesting one. And it says, and it comes from Ali bin Dawood. He says that I visited a companion of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny. He says, I came to learn that the Holy Prophet was seriously sick. When I learned that he was seriously sick, I decided I would visit him. And when I visited him, what did I see? I see Fatima to Zahra salamullahi alayha very close to the Holy Prophet, weeping and crying, so much so that the Holy Prophet, who was in a state of unconsciousness, gains conscience. opens eyes and says, Fatima, why are you crying when I am alive? And Bibi Fatima Zahra alayhi salam says, oh my father, I am crying on your separation from me. I cannot bear this thought. And Allah alone knows what calamities will befall me once you are gone. And the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny says, oh Fatima, continue to have faith in the mercy of Allah. Allah has been so merciful on us. Now this is all in the Sunnite work. Has been so merciful on us. Risala came to me, your father. And after me, the Wisaya, the successorship, will go to your husband, Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is from a leading Sunnite work, which is regarded as authentic. Will go to him. And indeed, Allah has favored us with honor after honor. He has favored us with my uncle Abbas. He has favored us with Hamza, who was the Sayyidul Shuhada, the leader of all the martyrs. And so he was before the events in Karbala. And then we have Ja'far, who has wings in heaven and is able to fly from one corner to another, because he lost his two arms in jihad. Allah has given him those wings. But